Probably the turning point was January when they signed Piontek and Capretta. Hello everybody and welcome to another ForzaItalianFootball.com video. Dov, Vieri here at the Stadio San Siro, or Giuseppe Meazza, depending on which side of the divide you sit on. And in this video we're going to talk about AC Milan.
And what a time it is to be a Rossoneri fan as well.
Well,
everything is
it's not
perfect.
Like they win the European Cup, come on, let's be realistic here. But after a number of years of Milan being rubbish, they're actually playing pretty well. Was it 10 games unbeaten and winning 5 in a row as well?
Yeah, the main thing is they've overtaken Inter.
And they've overtaken Inter.
Unthinkable, absolutely unthinkable in autumn.
They're a point ahead of the Nerazzurri, where I think at one point they were, I think 11 points behind them at one point, kind of like say November time. Absolutely crazy. I think probably the turning point was January when they signed Piontek and Capretta.
I mean, if you give 70 million euros to spend to a lot of Serie A clubs in January, yeah, if you spend them well, you do change the face of a team. And Leonardo and Maldini picked the right players, got rid of Higuain, and you know, Piontek scores every single. I score goals all the time. It's literally what he says, and it's absolutely true. And Capretta, I think, was a bit of a mystery when he arrived, but they spent a lot of money, and you know, you've got that result on the pitch. Yeah, well, the thing that kind of like is almost changed for me, like, I like Gattuso, not in terms of a tactician. I don't think he's kind of up there with like some Allegri or somebody like that. But I think kind of the intensity and the kind of fight and the drive that he's kind of instilled in the players, and they're all young as well, so they all kind of lap it up, and they're all like they want to do their best for him. And I think that's one of the reasons why Milan have kind of pushed on, because he's finally kind of got almost a bit of himself into the players. Well, he's Milan throughout. You know, he's always been a Rossoneri. The fans love him. That does help. He knows the stadium. He knows the changing room, and if he's able to transmit that to his players, it works. And as you said, a young team who are ready to take that with them. You know, I said it in the past. I don't think Gattuso's an amazing coach.
That's what I just said.
But he's very good at communicating. But we've got it on record as well that I used to say that I don't think Milan had a very good squad either. So it wasn't just down to Gattuso when results weren't coming. But again, you bring in two maybe not world class, but very good players, they can change the face of a team.
Well, they can change, and as well, they can kind of grow together, because you've got a real good core there in terms of Donnarumma, Romagnoli. You've got Conte, Calabria, Rodriguez isn't old either. Kessié, Bakayoko. There's a core there of kind of like mid-20s and younger of players that could spend 3, 4, 5 years together, grow with each other, and they're all good enough as well. And then kind of who knows where they could go if they all kind of improve at the rate they've been improving of kind of
I think
the last few months.
As well, they've got a very fixed objective, a bit like Inter last year. You know, fourth. We need to come fourth. That's all that matters, and Inter managed. I think then to confirm that position psychologically isn't as easy as saying we want to come fourth, that's it. And we've seen it with Inter this year. At one point it was almost like second or third. Then they kind of didn't know what to do in a limbo. Yeah. And now they're fourth. Yeah. And they're at risk of losing that position. Yeah. Whereas Milan have just always thought fourth.
It's just Champions League. You just get into the Champions League. Doesn't matter how you get there.
Mentally, you've got that extra drive instead of being a bit like, think of Napoli this year. They're now 15 points behind.
Nothing really. 18 points behind Vieri. You're giving them
even
points
in the past weeks, they were already thinking, you know, we're on holiday in Serie A.
Yeah, exactly. The league's finished.
And I think Milan have been really focused. They've never failed, even when they had all those injuries back in autumn. When you know they won that game at Udine with Romagnoli scoring a late winner, they always stuck together, and I think that's down to Gattuso.
Yeah, and even kind of when they've not been playing well recently, like for example the Chievo game, like they weren't that fantastic, but they kind of kept at it, kept plugging away, and then they got a bit of a dodgy goal, but they got it.
So
and that's all that matters.
They come to the derby in the best possible position, and they could really smash it, kill off Inter. Yeah. And then if they win the derby, there's no way I think they can drop that third spot.
Yeah, well, I mean, another thing which we've not really mentioned is the defence. The defence does not concede goals. I think they've got the best defensive record all of Europe's top 5 leagues.
Physically strong in midfield, great protection. Romagnoli, you think about...
He's a leader.
Yeah, and you know, think about a player who 3 years ago they've paid a lot of money for. Italian youngster growing up, the new Nesta, whatnot.
Making mistakes, people are getting on his back.
That's fine. But if you're given 3 years to develop, then you've got this kind of player. 3 years are a lot of time in football, so I don't say every team can do this. I mean, look at Juve. Juve can't afford to have Rugani developing
because
on a weekly basis, because those 2-3 mistakes
cost you. And they have cost Milan in the past as well. And Donnarumma, again, last season...
You can say the same about Donnarumma.
Exactly, making mistakes. Was he going to leave? Is he going to stay? Is he unhappy? People annoying people. And then this season, he's been almost perfect. A few mistakes at the start, but he's spraying the ball out from the back. He's making amazing saves, which he made anyway. He's just kind of cut a lot of those issues out of his game, and kind of he's.
I think we need to mention Musacchio as well. He wasn't meant to be a starter at the start of the season. He's been very consistent.
Again, he was another one crap at the start of the season, and kind of has got better. But probably, I would say the creme de la creme of players for Milan that have improved, Bakayoko.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Bakayoko was horrendous at the start of the season. So like people were like, "Oh my god, I can't believe we're going to."
He looked a bit like a robot.
Yeah, he just didn't know what he was doing.
But he was good at Monaco.
He was good at Monaco. Didn't play at Chelsea. Came here. Everybody thought he was rubbish. Get rid of him. We don't need him. And now they're like, "Yeah, pay the 40 million. We need to get him. Pay the clause."
And again, going back to Gattuso being good at communicating.
He always
find me a moment in which he didn't defend his squad.
Never. He's
always defended his players from beginning to end. Çalhanoğlu, that's another prime example.
Yeah, Milan wanted rid of him in January. He said, "No, I want to keep him."
So there's a lot of Gattuso in this Milan side, but I think the one mistake they don't have to make on Sunday night is underestimate Inter. If they get stuck in, they can kill off the opponents.
I don't think they will underestimate them. I don't think Gattuso will let them underestimate them. And I think one thing I would maybe say about them negatively, they're a bit too predictable in terms of how they play. They do down the wing, and you've got Suso who does his thing, cut inside, which he still does.
I still think their squad isn't amazing. You know, they're still fourth. They're not first.
They're third.
Third, yeah. But I mean,
like they are a bit predictable, which obviously Spalletti could kind of capitalise upon. But what they've got now with Piontek, which they didn't have with Higuain, a player who works his ass off. He's not the biggest, he's not the strongest, he's not the quickest, he's not the best in the air, but he's always there.
Yeah.
And he's there, and he puts himself about and he makes sure he gets into the position as well. You know, does everything he can to get in there. Because even when he was at Genoa, I thought Kwame was a better player, because Kwame was the player who you would see putting himself about, and Piontek would just almost be the finisher. But then he's come to Milan, and you can kind of see him, obviously see him a bit closer, see him more often. You can kind of see what he does, and he's a predator, like plain and simple. He just gets into the right position, and he doesn't smash the ball. He always makes sure it's on target, and almost places it where he wants it to go. And that's how he's got a brilliant finisher, and that's how he's got so many goils. And
now, will he score at the Derby?
Well, that's the thing. Will he score at the Derby? We're going to get pum. Who knows? Yeah, I've not really got anything else to say. I think we've covered everything here.
We have, and now it's just a matter of seeing if AC Milan will destroy Inter as any logic. I don't think so, because a derby is always a very particular type of game. So I do think Inter can come out on top. That is not to say Milan aren't having a great season and they won't make the Champions League, which is what matters most.
There you go. So everything's positive for the Rossoneri. Let us know what you think. What's changed? What do you think's changed? Leave a comment. Social media, Instagram, hashtag #FIF@the-game. So follow us on all the social media rubbish. And make sure you watch our other videos on the derby and, of course, on the situation at Inter.